Okay, hopefully the mic's going here. I'm going to try and be as clear and concise as I can throughout the video. This is Streets of Rage 4. As a reshade for my own personal settings. You're going to notice there's actually a plethora of different modifications that I've added here. That including but not limited to texture replacement. You'll notice well, a lot of the mods are pretty blatant. You'll notice Axel, he has blue fire, which I always thought he should have had. You'll notice Cherry, it's a new sexier version of Cherry. It's pretty much a skin that I added into the character myself. And you'll notice in the background there's the addition of quite a few different Sega characters, mainly the Sonic franchise. There's a few other things modification wise, such as for this main menu, you'll notice the title itself has been completely reworked to look like something more street. Yeah, as you can see, the word of rage is an actual street sign. The word streets has a red brick motif behind it, and I was sure to include the word modded up top. I think it's vitally important that I stress that this is a super modded variation of the game. Let me go down to food here. So for my food items, I pretty much replaced everything, modified what exists already. You'll notice I laid the apple down. I added in the Final Fantasy VII potions, which by the way, everything is consistent. You'll notice to go with the apple is a turkey. You'll notice where's the potion? You'll notice the Final Fantasy VII potion has essentially a normal potion and a high potion. And you'll just notice consistency with everything going through the food items themselves. Just very consistent. I think this is actually from Turtles in Time. Can't remember which health item it is. I think it's Turtles in Time. More modernized heart. Of course, Mega Man X, because it's Mega Man X. Mega Man X is awesome. You got the big and the little health item. Sonic the Hedgehog. I think I have a group. Yeah, you have a ring and then a group of rings. And so on and so forth. Of course, Castle Crashers. Two variations of a smaller item. And then, of course, a meat for a large heal. But you get the gist of what I'm doing here. All of the food items have been appropriately replaced with something, just similar or familiar to you gamers out there. So we covered the title screen, we covered the food items. I'm just going to simply go into the story mode itself. Yeah, replace the numbers for each slot with a more graphic, more violent motif. Thought it was remove some of the cartooniness of the game. You'll notice the red background opposing to blue, what it was originally. All of the character select icons, which are still a work in progress. But I have the main Streets of Rage 4 rosters icons completed background wise. You'll notice that each one of them have their own motif in the background or in their photos here. I think it's unique and cool. It's just something. It's more color coded and interesting in my opinion. You'll notice for Axel, in Axel's background, he actually has the first stage for his background. Same applies to, of course, Blaze. You'll notice Cherry, she has the yellow background, but she has, speakers. She has very large speakers, guitar equipment in the background. Floyd, you can't really see Floyd's background, but he uses Mr. X's, his survival mode background. This Adam, I believe Adam's background is the stage that he appears in. Same with Estelle, the stage that she first appears in is her background. Same with Max, it's the arena with all the people in it that you fight Max in this game. And of course the same with Shiva on the far right. Shiva's background is the cherry tree, the pretty much the Japanese aesthetic or Chinese aesthetic background that he has for his stage when you fight him. So my goal here for all of the characters was not to change the color of the characters, but more to accessorize and make, more distinct, unique versions of each character. You'll notice for Axel, I'm simply going to tap R. You get your old school bearded version, complete with the sweater. Tap again, it removes the sweater. Tap it again, and there's the version of him without his beard and the sweater removed. Basically classic Axel. As for Blaze, this skin is called the Sexy Blaze skin. It's basically a personal retexture that I made myself. I heavily modified her breast. I fixed some of the placement for each of her sprites so that she doesn't like slide around for her idle animation. And it's actually a combination of a public release mod and my own handcrafted art. And that's the reason I haven't publicly released this skin, because I'm not a strong believer in taking another artist's work, perverting it, and then re-releasing it under my name. That's something I would never do, not in this lifetime, just out of respect. So for her second skin, it's just her default skin. This is the default game. She has a couple of mods actually on the default skin to remove the jank from the original art. Sorry, developers. One of the janky removal or the jank removal mods that I put in here was her face. There's a mod to clean her face up, basically modify it to look more consistent and more, more sharp. And then also her leg. She has a leg fix. She had an issue going on with the thighs, but overall this is the default skin. And then we have another version of her skin, which is basically censored Blaze. It uses her default face, but it has modified stockings put on the character. It just covers her up more. And I don't mind. I like the way it looks. I think aesthetically it's a cool addition here. For Cherry, this is Cherry's default skin. She has no modifications. That's just untouched Cherry. And then, of course, here's a skin that I made. Again, this is based on a public release. I think the public release is called Mystic Shorts. I didn't like the gray and red aesthetic for a shirt, so I put back her default shirt, and I left the booty shorts on the character. Then for her third skin, it simply just removes the tube top from under her yellow shirt. She's basically got like a I know gratuitous, I'm grown type look to her clothes. Let's keep in mind Cherry's a rocker, so she would, have her boobs out. And then of course, last but not least, this is actually fairly close to I know. I know where shades, but this is just Cherry with her modified tube top removal, her booty shorts, and she's wearing Adam's glasses. If for those of you who don't know, she's related to Adam in this game. And I don't know, I think that looks awesome, man. She looks so cool. All of the sprites are complete for the character too. It's very professional, clean, and fluid. So yeah, that's my Cherry. And then we have Floyd. As you can see, Floyd's default skin is just the base game Floyd. And then as you toggle through, I just noticed an issue with his shoulder there, his right shoulder. I'll go back and fix that later. Well, after this video, I'll replace that shoulder. I just never noticed it. Should be a quick fix. And this is the Mega Man arm, which I'm noticing a texture glitch here. Wow, he's gonna need some work here. But I noticed a texture glitch in his leg there, so I'll have to find that sprite. Looks like an idle issue. I'll replace that idle and have that fixed. And then of course the black arm version of him, which looks really dark and gritty. It's pretty cool. It darkens his boots too. I actually love this look aesthetically. And then last but not least is my personal Floyd that I made myself. It's just him with a giant metal head. It's basically the same aesthetic, or it's pretty much my logo that I use for everything that I release on the internet. I think it makes him look more mechanical. He looks more robotic. It's cooler to me. And this is the skin personally that I play with when I beat the game. Next up is Adam. This is his default skin. It's untouched. I tapped R here, and that's the suspenders removal. It's basically the default skin without the suspenders. The black skin, which is I'm actually working on replacing. I want this skin. I want Adam's skin, his default skin with the suspenders gone, and instead of black pants, I want him to wear blue jeans, like Cherry. He's gonna have like actual blue jeans, and I'm gonna remove his glasses. I think Adam would look cool without the glasses on too. So that's something I'm thinking about working on pretty soon here. to replace the this black skin. And then last but not least is my blade skin. This is actually a whip. It's not done. It looks complete. All of the sprites have been properly and cleanly and professionally replaced, so there's no bugs or issues in it. There's just minor tweaks that I want to make to the character moving forward that I can do later. Pretty much cosmetic, really minute and cosmetic things that I want to tweak on it. But this is the end result. It's Blade, Wesley Snipes from Blade Trinity. I think he fits Streets of Rage perfectly, dude. He's pretty much, he screams the 90s. Next character is Estelle. For Estelle, she has, I think, her default colors, but I'm gonna tap R. This is her default skin, by the way. As you can see, there's a buff Estelle mod. It's a public release. I love this skin. It makes her just massive and huge, like Schwarzenegger. Like, it's really good. Kudos to the artist that did this. And then of course she has just a couple more of her default skins. As for Max, Max has this is his default skin. This is the default. Maybe a modded skin. This might be a modded skin. I can't remember. I can't recall if this is a modded skin or one of the default base game skins. But whatever it is, I like the color aesthetic. The same applies to this one too. I like him with all black on. And then finally the Hulk Hogan mod, which just changes him into Hulk Hogan, which is pretty awesome. Next up is Shiva. This is his default skin. Here's an alternate version of the default skin, which is a far more gritty and cool looking version of him. Looks like he has actual rope around his gi or around his waist. And I don't know, I just think it's super cool. Here's a custom skin I made by hand. It's basically his retro skin color. She was actually supposed to be green. If you look at the older version of his character, and his headband, I had to change his headband to red, which is a common mistake for people who try to make a retro skin for this character. They don't remember that he has a red headband. And then of course a Shadow Shiva skin. I just like that. Reminds me of Shadow Jago from Killer Instinct. I'm gonna go through the other characters later, all of the Sonic characters. There's a custom on the top right of all of the characters. Icon wise, you'll see Rue in that right corner. That's a Streets of Rage 4 Rue that I made by hand. It's currently publicly released on Nexus Mods, so you guys can go pick that up. You'll notice Cloud and Tifa on the left bottom, yeah, the bottom left of the character select screen there. They're those are also custom skins. They're both Yamakichi Cloud and Yamakichi Tifa from a program called Mugen, which is a 2D fighter for the PC. Right now, the main purpose of this video is just to test my skin here. These two specifically, I haven't really tested these fully. I just kind of drew up the sprites and then plopped them in on top of the character, so I have no idea. You'll notice the pins here for the map too. I think the original map had something that I didn't like, so I replaced it with pins. Something that makes sense for a blueprint. Notice the money roll, the money item has been replaced. A lot of stuff has been replaced. Right now I'm just looking at the character here. Make sure there's no bugs or no issues. First of all, the character loaded. For those of you who mod this game, you know when you replace the sprites for a character, if the character has any issues, as far as the filing goes, it'll crash. Like I wouldn't be in this stage at all if there's an issue with the skins in general. So that's definitely a good thing here. I never noticed the Mystic Short mod here is very gratuitous. There's some points where she looks almost naked, which makes sense. They're Mystic shorts. They're not normal shorts like that. Jesus, they almost disappear. It's kind of odd, but yeah, this skin checks out. Everything's been replaced. It looks good. There's one that I really want to try out here, which is her glasses. Yeah, her Atom glasses. I'll try a new move too. Let's just switch them all. Screw it. I don't play with Cherry much, so I don't even know what these moves are. Yeah, but from head to toe, I just went through and replaced everything, man. If I didn't like something, I replaced it. Yeah, if you notice next to the life bar on the bottom right there, there's chaos emeralds, or chaos gems, I think is a better term. But those are the chaos gems from Sonic. Let's keep in mind Streets of Rage is actually a Sega Genesis game. Originally, it's a Sega franchise game, which is why there's so many Sonic characters in my roster. It just, to me, it just clicks. It just makes sense. I'm actually considering removing Cloud and Tifa from this roster here, those two modded characters, and putting in something else that's actually Sonic, not Sonic, but Sega related. This skin looks good too. All of the sprites are lined up. The glasses look awesome. The undershirt is still going, as you can see here. Just walking up, see it? How the undershirt is going. See her glasses? Looks good. It's clean. This is a really clean. See her face? Really clean mod. This is really good. I'm gonna try not to drag the video out here, but yeah, I'm in a mood to work on my Streets of Rage 4, and I'm just showcasing what I have so far. And this is it. Should be more to come. The only thing I really have to do is there's a couple icons for the 1, 2, and 3 Streets of Rage characters, background wise. Well, all of the icons I have to replace the backgrounds for with something cool, and probably upres a couple of these icons too to be more consistent with the rest of the roster. And then the icons. There's a skin I want to do for Adam. I want to do this skin without the glasses and wearing actual blue jeans, like his relative Cherry. And I think that's really it, man. I've replaced so much in here, so many weapons. All of the enemies have been replaced with new modified, cooler looking versions. Just different color coding, different hairstyles, different clothing, different versions of enemies in this game instead of palette swaps. If you guys know me, I hate palette swaps. I'm sure there's a ton I just blatantly haven't shown yet, but honestly, I can't pull it out of my butt. That's been replaced. That background there. You'll notice he's not wearing his beard. I think that's Axel, Streets of Rage. Yeah, I think that's Streets of Rage 4 Axel, but as you can see there, his beard is gone. It's just a plethora of things I've placed here, and this game is so cool and timeless. This is a masterpiece. I recommend you pick it up, Streets of Rage 4 for the PC. And this is my whip. God bless.